Fuente,
Yes, sir.
you want to know how to have a fresh smelling and squeaky clean butt before riding? Well, I'll tell you how. Get hooked up with Dude Wipes flushable wet wipes.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Your butt will smell like a breath of fresh air.
Don't even need the fan.
No, and I mean that.
Well, you don't use one anyways.
Why would you?
Support us and head over to lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt. That's BUTT. No additional cost to you, but we do get a small commission if you click through and make a purchase. It's like putting a breath mint in your ass.
I can confirm that.
This is the dumbest commercial ever.
And we're being serious. We're being very serious. Give it a shot. lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt. Now, Fuente literally just took a dump. We've been working, we'll talk about it, in the shop all day. Literally just took a dump, and he was ordered to try one of the fragrance frees.
I was in there. I wasn't in there. I was out here barking at him going, hey, you need to use the fragrance free first. He goes, I'm going for the mint. I said, no.
You
Trust
can't.
Me. You got to go fragrance free and then mint. So you really get the difference.
There is procedures to testing. You can't give me your opinion yet. So we had you try a fragrance-free and finish it off with a mint. What's your, number one, are you a regular user of wet wipes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Attaboy.
Yeah.
All right, good. And so what is your take on the fragrance-free versus mint?
The mint is where it's at.
Yeah.
Just
Did you
the
get that
fragrance-free-
tingly feeling?
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Did you feel minty fresh?
I did.
It's really like after you use like Listerine mouthwash, mint flavored, but in your ass.
It's a little bit of a tingle, and that's where it's at.
Thanks for testing those, and I'm telling you, we're pretty sold on the mint. The fragrance free, I may not buy those anymore. They're not that they're bad. Not they're bad. Oh, I did.
They're not bad. They do what you need them to do, but
Right.
they just leave you wanting a little something more after you've had the mint.
Well said.
Because the mint has mint, eucalyptus, and tea tree essential oils, and that just does something extra special that the fragrance free just doesn't do.
And I'm happy to announce that I just got my singles, my 30 pack of singles, and I'm stocking them in my shirt pockets and stocking them in my laptop case and my backpack. It's kind of like a tampon, You just, want to draw any attention to yourself, instead of grabbing a big pack of Dude Wipes under your arm and heading for the bathroom in a restaurant, you can just be a little discreet.
Yeah.
lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt. That's spelled B-U-T-T if you didn't know.
Get yourself a little tingle.
Yeah, shop pay installments. That's right, integrated right into the Law Abiding Biker store. Here's the deal, Fuente. You're in the Law Abiding Biker store online. You're shopping. You're like, and we're going on a trip soon. You're like, oh yeah, I need that. I need that in my life from the Law Abiding Biker store. But you're like, you grab your pockets, you pull them out. Nothing but some lint, bro. Maybe a dime, maybe a penny, a dime,
Maybe
whatever.
a packable Dude Wipe.
Maybe a packable. Very, very true. And you're like, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because we got shop pay installments, baby. You can buy it right now and pay. You'll know that you can pay in 4 equal payments, interest free. And we now have monthly payments. Those do have an interest attached to them, but you can even pay monthly. That's the shizzle.
That's pretty sweet.
Want to ride longer? Are you tired of a sore and achy ass? Then fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Oh yeah, once you've used Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords, Fuente. Go strapless like you did today. With a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and get hooked up now. I do want to announce that speaking of taking a dump right before the podcast rolled, Fuente, we need to work on Lurch. We need to work on Fuente's studio shiting courtesy.
Etiquette, his pooping etiquette.
He has very little etiquette. Can you explain?
They're usually when somebody's in there dropping one, you can hear the fan running. I heard nothing. And usually when I yell at you in the bathroom, you're like, dude, I can't hear you. The fan's going.
Right.
Fuente could hear me just fine.
It's all
So
about the testing environment, gentlemen.
Oh my God.
He's in there just loving what he's doing. He just wants to enjoy
just
it.
all up in his nose and
Just wants to experience it. All
breathing
that he has
poop
to give.
particles.
Hey, when you go out to a restaurant, that fan does not always work. A true test is to see if that mint fresh scent is going to cut through it.
Interesting.
Did you know after you use those, if you fart, it smells like mint. You just can crop dust all across the room. Smells like air freshener.
After the queso at lunch, I'll let you know.
What other?
Didn't he just throw the door wide open and stop out?
If it wasn't bad enough that he didn't turn the fan on, I'm watching him. I'm getting ready for the podcast here. I look over. He just walks out nonchalant, leaves the door wide open. Dude, we're going to call your wife and ask her if that's acceptable. Should we cold call his wife?
If you want to.
Can we do that?
I don't care. Sure.
Okay, sweet. I don't know if I have our number. Have him write it down for me on it. Here. Write it down on a piece of paper. We're going to cold call. This is great podcast content.
No, don't warn her. So you might send her a text and let her know who's calling because I bet she'll ignore the number.
Oh, will she answer from you? Just dial it on your phone and I'll just plug your phone into this.
There you go.
Yeah, that way she'll answer.
Better.
All right.
Sure, she's not going to hate me forever?
Just bring it up and ready to, don't call her, but bring it up and ready to dial.
Yeah, just dial it and then I'll plug it in right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just to hand it.
You can do that. You can just pop
Oh,
it in
yeah.
there.
All right, just all I got to hit is dial. You got it. All right.
It's dialing. Plug it in. Hurry.
Okay.
Quick.
Stand by.
Has he got an iPhone? No, he doesn't. But what do you got?
Dude, disregard. That's a, hang on, stand by. That's a Android, dude.
Yeah.
We don't do Android around here. For God's
You'll have
sakes.
to send the number.
I'll get you a number.
That's all right. You think she'll answer for me? Does she answer random numbers?
She should.
Okay. All right. Let me look at this number. Oh, shit, that's one I have on speed dial. I already had that.
Oh,
Dude.
you knew it.
All right, I'm plugging in. Here we go.
Oh.
Here we go. Oh, I got to turn this up. This is going to be great, people.
Colin Fuente's wife.
All right, here we go. See what she has to say about your poor etiquette.
See what Mrs. Fuente has to say.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, you've reached Allison.
Oh, right to voicemail.
Dang,
She
dude.
just blocked you.
Maybe she'll call back.
Oh, it's because she's calling me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Put it on speakerphone.
I thought she had me in her contacts, dude. When you were out of town.
She was in the process
she
of calling,
probably
though.
All right.
This is some good podcasting.
It's great, dude. It's great content. Great content. While he's doing that, let's talk about an email here. Lurch, do you want to handle this email?
Yeah, this was from Dave Martell of Alberta, Canada. He says, there is one question I have, if you would be so kind to clear it up for me. It has remained a mystery for some time now. The reason I ask is because I hate practicing mistakes. It is hellish trying to stop a practice once it becomes normal. Forgive me if I ask the question sounding foolish, but it is my hope you'll understand. Others really haven't. So here's this question. What is the proper way to lean the bike in low speed exercises? Do you turn the handlebars first, then lean, or do you lean first and then turn the handlebars? I do want to lean to the point of dragging boards. He's been watching some of your videos, I bet. Do you push the bike down or allow it to lean on its own? I believe if I have the answers to these questions, I will succeed with my practice. I know you're very busy, and I would appreciate so much if you take a minute or so to help me. I would love to ride the way you do. And your response was?
So I answered here, Mr. Dave Martell. How did he get a hold of us?
He sent us an email.
lawabidingbiker.com/contact. You can leave an email there, fill out the contact form, and or a voicemail. We love the voicemails. Love the voicemails. Right from your computer or phone, any device or iPad. Yep. And from anywhere in the world. Yeah, for free. Likely you may not work on Android because they work about 50% of the time. So it might not work for Fuente, but all right, all you Android fanboys, just settle down.
But you can do so much more with Android.
Oh, yeah, you can lock it up every time don't even get me started. All right, here we go. My response, being a motorcycle police officer and instructor, here's how I answered Dave. You don't really have to push the bike around other than pushing the bars into the full lock position. Let the bike do most of the work. Proper brake, balance, clutch, and throttle. That's right. It's working all those things together. Clutch in and the bike will dip low. Let it out and the bike will want to stand up. Rear braking along with that will dip the bike low, while letting up on the rear brake will stand the bike up. More throttle and the bike wants to stand up. Less throttle and the bike will dip. It just takes time and many, many hours of long practice until that becomes more natural and you don't even have to think about it as much. I do scoot my rear over to the high side of the bike when going into a tight pattern, so I can dip the bike lower and still be sitting somewhat upright on the bike. Scoot your rear to the opposite way of the turn. So example is turning right, scoot your butt to the left. I hope this helps. Thanks again, Dave, for sending in that email, and I hope that helps some of you that are out there training and practicing. Hey, Bikeaholics, 03D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike. Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to law-abidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of 03D products. She going to answer us if I call again?
Yeah, she will.
Hello.
Hello, is this Miss Fuente?
This is Fuente.
Well, it's good to hear your lovely voice, and you're probably aware you're on a podcast.
I had a suspicion.
Okay, you are. Now, we just want to kind of get an idea of your take on this. We're hoping he doesn't do this to you at home, but this is what went down. So he went in the studio bathroom to take a dump. Okay.
Gosh. Uh-huh.
And me and Lurch couldn't help notice, but he was not running the fan. And so we yelled at him and said, you need to use the fan. And so then if that wasn't bad enough, I'm getting the podcast ready. He walks out, the fan's still not running, and leaves the door wide open. Does he do this at home?
You can tell him. It's fine.
Yeah, it happens at home.
Oh my goodness.
Our master bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
That's the only one he uses, and no one else uses it that much.
Well, I appreciate that honest answer. Do you
explain?
Do you often get after him for that? Have you got after him for that, or do you just accept it now?
Apparently, I had accepted it.
Wow.
That's marriage right there.
That's marriage right there.
Now explain
the good and the bad.
Explain that we were testing these new dude wipes.
We were testing gentlemen's wet wipes called dude wipes.
Nude dude or new dude?
Just dude. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Nude dude. Sorry.
Nude.
Nothing nude.
No nude dude.
No nude dude. He came out of the bathroom clothed, so that was good. That was the only plus.
Okay.
All right. Well,
he's looking pretty good though these days. Have you seen him?
Oh yeah.
Might not to be too bad.
He's a sexy beast.
He is a sexy beast.
That'll be later, babe.
Well, thanks for playing along. Good to hear.
You're welcome.
Good to hear your lovely voice. Have a good evening.
You too.
All
Bye,
right,
guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Dude, I can't believe she just accepts you as you are.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't mess around or anything, dude. You probably never get hooked up again.
That's a fact.
You do that to your girlfriend once, dude. She's like, get out of here. All right. What a ridiculous start to the podcast, but a lot of fun. She's fun. I'm glad she played along. Let's do this, huh?
Let's do it.
Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history by being here, by listening. You're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
That's right. We do have just one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up. Let us take you on a wild-ass ride.
Nice. There we go. Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
There it is. Yeah. So Fuente obviously in the studio, and we got Lurch, of course, sitting next to him. There we go. We're all sitting here pretty high because we've been doing a project all day and huffing gasoline. So everybody's pain-free right now. And Lurch and Fuente
Yes.
are sucking down some whiskey.
We're not sucking down. We are sipping whiskey.
Sipping, yes.
We are gentlemen.
All right. Sipping whiskey.
Maybe not in the bathroom, but when it comes to whiskey.
There's a reason Lurch is drinking. He had a rather frustrating day. We'll talk about that. No tools were thrown. Nobody was hurt
Nope.
with the project we did. But that's going to be the main topic today is we did a fuel filter and fuel pump on Fuente's 2017 Road Glide. 16, sorry, my bad. And then we're going to follow it up with our upcoming summer trip, some of the details to Minnesota. All right. Now, do you want to announce this new free video, Lurch?
Yes, we have a new free video out. If you haven't seen it, it is called Out with the Chrome and In with the Zero LED Fang headlight bezel and TAC 10 cannons. We went from a chrome Fang LED headlight bezel to a black one because you had put the TAC 10 light cannons on your bike. They are black. They don't come in chrome because it cost $1 bazillion to chrome them. But the chrome headlight bezel stuck out a little bit. So you had the idea of throwing a black one on there, and man, that just tied that whole front end together, the light cannons and black one. So if you want to see how to hook that up, just go to our website, and the easiest thing is just to search the Fang headlight bezel.
Or you can go to our store, shop.lawabidingbiker.com or lawabidingbiker.com/store. And on the listing for the Zero LED Fang headlight bezels on all our products that we do videos on, they are embedded right there on the product page for you, making it very easy to buy and then a free installation video. Now, we love our sponsors up front. Absolutely. We also, these folks right here are sponsors of this episode and a direct reason that we are still going after 9 years. We want to thank the following patron members.
Yeah, first we got John Boardley of Baltimore, Maryland. Mattis Kisnes of Kaunas, Lithuania.
Nice work.
Scott Pants, who's a top-tier member.
We got Robert Dalen of Noblesville, Indiana. Dwayne Hillier of Race Ridge, Ontario, Canada, top tier. And Jesse Enriquez, also top tier.
Finishing up, Robert Burke of Syracuse, New York, top tier. Ava Gainey of Raleigh, North Carolina. And Matt Holm of Spanaway, Washington. A Spanamanian, Lurch.
Oh.
Lawabidingbiker.com. Yeah, Spanamaniac. Lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. Patreon. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits for signing up, such as t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, which is a troll-free zone. Nothing but bikers helping bikers in there. Access to live video broadcasts and chat. Podcasts early, like this very episode, will come out months before it goes out to the regular public. Access to those premium videos upon request, and of course, access to those ride, meetup, and events that are going on right now inside that private Facebook group. That is the key to the kingdom, is the private Facebook group. All access there, guys. All right. So with that said, let's just dive in. So you want to talk a little bit about how this project transpired and what was going on?
Yeah.
Fuente.
So, I mean, the biggest thing is you're out there riding your bike. My recommendation is you try to keep track and listen to your bike. Just see how it's running. Keep up on it.
Should they clean their bike too?
No.
Okay, because that was evident that Fuente doesn't.
No.
Do you need more bug slide?
No, I've got it.
We'll send you some.
Hook you up.
The wife uses it for the truck.
Okay.
We keep that one clean.
Nice.
But the bike.
Not
I
so
mean,
much.
I commute on the highway, an hour each day to and from work.
I just
round
thought I'd
trip.
bust your balls just because it's fun.
Oh, I don't blame you.
It's good to have you back on a mic.
Yeah.
It's always smiling, that Fuente.
But, the biggest thing is, you're out there riding. My recommendation is if you hear something different, don't just blow it off. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to fix it right then and there, but just keep track of it. I noticed starting back in January, February, when I started getting the bike out, when you turn it on, the fuel pump is going to prime. And when it primed, I noticed every now and then, especially when I would get towards the bottom end of the tank, it would have kind of like a higher pitched garble.
Can you demonstrate?
Yeah, give us a sound.
And then I'll try.
Yeah. So normally when you turn it on, you're gonna click it.
Professional sound effects right here.
The ignition's gonna click and it's go nice and consistent.
Oh, that was probably the best one, like a vibrator. Yeah, very good.
And mine, the pitch wasn't consistent and it was much higher. Yeah, that's too deep.
That is too deep.
That's too deep.
That's under your bed.
Yeah, that's something else. That'll be later tonight. But anyways, and then the other thing is, so your fuel pump is always running even when the bike is running. What I noticed is I could hear it over the regular sound of the engine. And I'm like, okay, something is wrong. Did some research online. Unfortunately, and this is a big reason why we did the video and why I reached out to Lurch and Ryan, there's not a lot of videos out there about fuel pumps at all.
They're shite, the couple that are out there.
Yeah.
The information's there, but they
some
they don't,
information.
It's
some
not,
information they don't film very well. They got their hands in the way most of the time.
It doesn't fit into the category of infotainment.
No,
And that's
sir.
what we provide here at Lab. And so I reached out to them and said, hey, pretty sure my fuel pump is going out, and set up a time, came up here and shot the video. So,
All right. So, of course, we filmed all day, and we filmed a fuel filter replacement and a fuel pump replacement, because while you're in there, it makes no sense, and you're getting all those components out of the fuel tank. There's no reason not to do a filter. I will say, that Harley recommends 100,000 mile fuel filter replacement. Now seeing yours,
yeah.
I would recommend doing that sooner, especially with a lot of the gas that's going around.
Yeah, what do you have on
Just
yours?
crap.
40 something?
Yeah, so I'm at 46,000.
Okay. And it was pretty dark.
Yeah, pulling it out. I mean, I couldn't.
Obviously
I couldn't
still
imagine,
working.
I couldn't imagine going to 100,000. That's yeah. You should replace it before then.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty dirty, so it makes me think about mine. Maybe I'll do it at 50 or something like that. But we are going to obviously release those videos for free on the Law Abiding Biker YouTube channel. If you have not gotten over there and subscribed, make sure you do so. lawabidingbiker.com/YouTube or youtube.com/Ryan Erlacher. And make sure you hit that bell icon so you're notified when we drop videos, because we're dropping a ton of videos. All right. While we're on that topic of social media, we're also doing a lot of stuff over on Instagram. Make sure to follow us over there. A lot of behind the scenes and stuff we aren't doing anywhere else. That's at Scrappy587, SCRAPPY587. Of course, Facebook is Law Abiding Biker, along with Twitter, Law Abiding Biker. There you go. There's our social media. So you bought a kit, and we're going to, below our video when we put it out, guys, as usual, and we'll do a website article, Lurch will, and he will put affiliate links in there.
I'm working on it right now.
Oh,
as we
nice,
speak.
bro. He's going to do affiliate links to some different pump filter options. They come in a kit. So there's O-rings and new hoses, and we'll talk about this process a little bit as we go along here. But you think we pretty much had an idea what to do. But of course, we break it down in Law Abiding Biker style, step by step, without skipping any steps, and get the greatest of shots for you guys. So it's going to make it so much easier to do. But it was like a lot of projects, a little longer than we anticipated. Of course, filming makes it longer. But aside from that, there were some difficulties that we ran into, and we conquered.
Yeah, it was tedious.
It is.
And unfortunately, I mean, a lot of the videos, and I'm sure people have good intentions out there, but
Right.
They would be working on a part and the video would just magically cut, and the step they were working on was just magically completed.
And then they would try to tell you how
Yeah.
they did it. Oh,
Yeah.
this one was a little more difficult. No, you freaking threw tools and you cussed,
Yeah.
and then you cut that part out is what you did.
So, I mean, what we bring to you guys is we show you, the steps and techniques. There were a couple things that after we did it, looking back, we're like, okay, next time, instead of doing this, the rib tube, go with the plain tube.
And we tell you that in the video.
First, and walk you through it step by step.
Yep. And we'll advise you that in the video of the right sequence of things that will make it the easiest for you. So very good, Lurch. Lurch had a rough day
It was trying.
because he was the mechanic. I was filming, and Fuente was entertaining Louis,
Yes.
Louis, the studio dog and shop dog. And we posted him the other day on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, but he likes to wrench. So he's the new shop dog. But no, Fuente did a little bit of wrenching too. So a little bit behind the scenes, do you want to talk about this project, Lurch, Fuente, about what goes into a fuel filter and tank, or a fuel filter and pump replacement?
I'll let Fuente take it, and I'll fill in if needed.
Yeah, so I mean, like any good kit, of course, it doesn't come with any instructions.
Yeah, zero.
I mean, because that would add
Absolutely zero.
10 cents, 15 cents, and yeah, in this day and age, we just can't have it with inflation.
Seems like it was a little bit universal too.
Yeah, and I think that's the case. I mean, there were a couple parts, we pulled it out. Once we got it apart, looking at it, Ryan's right. It's a generic kit. There's some pieces that we didn't need, that we didn't end up using. So I think they're probably going to be a fairly standard pump that's going to fit a number of bikes, and then they just package it with different hoses and different clamps depending on, what's needed.
The bike does run, by the way, even though we didn't use all the parts because we didn't need them. It does run. It does run.
It does run, and it does sound nice. It purrs once again instead of whines. Yeah, which is what you want. So purring is key, not whining.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward kit. Like I said, I mean, when we looked at it, you can also get the Harley manual. It kind of briefly walks through it. It has steps, a 1-sentence step. We actually break down for you and give you the shots of, okay, it's saying this, the tab, but where is that tab actually?
And put the line on, and that's all they say.
Yeah,
but
basically.
We'll tell you that, yeah.
Yeah, so with the video, it's going to be a fairly straightforward thing. I don't mind wrenching on the bike, but again, we wanted to bring it up here and put it on video so you guys can have access to it and see it. And I think after watching the video, again, it's going to be a fairly straightforward job. Just plan some time for it. It's probably going to take you about three hours. Yep. Especially if you're by yourself and you don't have an extra set of hands. So,
Lurch, you want to dive into this project a little more?
Some of the in my research, I've seen people do it with the tank off, the tank on. The truth is, the easiest to do with just leaving the tank on the bike. There's no need to take it off.
That's interesting. I didn't know that some were taking the tank off.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I have no idea. Maybe make it easier to film.
Not that it's hard to take the tank off, but still.
No, I think it was better to have the tank on. I thought we were going to take it off at first, but
so did I.
Lurch's call was correct.
The reason I decided to is there is to do the project, you have to remove on his bike in particular. He's got a console across the top that you have to take off, and once you get the console off, then it exposes what they call the top plate. The top plate is what is part of your filler neck where you put your fuel in your tank, and it connects to the tank with a cam ring. Thank you.
Yep.
Now they make a cam ring tool for $170. Jim's
is that what it costs?
Jim's will sell you a tool for $170.
I want one.
It's basically to paint a picture. It looks like a large hole saw with a socket adapter on the back. It's just a big round tool that has four lugs that fit over 4 tabs on the ring, and then you can take it off. But the truth is you can just use a blunt instrument like your
punch.
Wiener. Yes, like my wiener, like a punch and a hammer, and just tap that thing back out of the way. Those 4 tabs lock into slots on the tank. And you just got to tap that bad boy out of the way. So you can buy the $170 tool. You can make a tool, or you can just pop it with a punch or some other flat tool. You wouldn't want to use a chisel or a screwdriver or something like that because you might do damage to the tabs. Yeah. And maybe a higher likelihood of slipping and making a beautiful mark in your tank.
At least it'd be under the dash panel, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. Depending on what side you're trying to take it off on.
It's true.
That would be the only real specialty tool that you could get if you wanted to, but it's not necessary. We show you how to do it without the specialty tool because we do try, for the most part, to do our jobs with the general tools an average guy has in his garage. So once you get that bad boy off, then it gets interesting.
You got to do now you don't have to remove the tank, but you have to remove the tank dash panel.
Yeah, the console thing.
The console.
Yeah.
We found just a bit of dirt.
Bit?
Listen, guys, if you're not riding your bike,
that's right.
And you're concerned about keeping it clean. I mean,
but you did when you first got yours, right?
I did. I went through that phase.
Yeah, we all go through that phase.
I bought Bug Slide by the 32-ounce bottles.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
Shout out to Big Daddy Kane running the shop. I was his good friend for a while, but if you're out there riding, I get it. If I had 2 bikes, I might have a garage queen, but I ride it. I ride it to and from work.
It's evident.
It gets dirty. Mm-hmm. I put it away dirty.
Oh,
I ride it dirty.
That's how she likes it, huh?
That is how she likes it.
Wow.
But the funny thing about the project, they have this special cam ring tool that actually was probably one of the easiest things in the job.
Really, it was. Yeah.
It was.
It came off. Getting it off was a lot easier than putting it back on.
Mm-hmm. Till he got the right tool.
Yeah.
Big mama.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I removed it, I just used, because just to be safe, so I didn't slip and whack his tank, I had a plastic sand loaded hammer, dead blow hammer. It wouldn't mar his paint. And it popped out easier. Going back in, now you're fighting the cams and trying to lock it into place. You need a little bit more power. So I got Big Mama there, metal on metal, and was able to pop it in a lot easier. I was just really careful with the punch not to slip off and whack his tank.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to move in. You were mentioning that from there it gets interesting, and we'll dive into that in just a moment.
Hey, bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? 3D has products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. 3D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, and welding for an easy installation that equals less time installing and more time riding.
Oh, yeah.
3D has a design team with riders with over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@03d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Did I say 0027? I sure did.
You did.
Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of 3D products.
Fuente.
Made it right at the end of the music.
That's because I...
Oh, you done?
Yeah, I do that. How many podcasts have you found on? And I'm the one that lowers the music because I know you're close to. Oh, that's awesome, dude.
That's funny. I had to stop to clear my throat, and I thought, I'm not going to make it.
I'm going too long. Fuente, you're doing the next one.
All right, sounds good.
Do you think you can handle it?
Oh, I got it.
All right. So, Lurch, you mentioned, why don't we dive in a little bit further from there? It gets interesting because you got to remove quite a few different little or large components out of there.
Yeah, there's
the tank.
3 different components inside the tank, and they take a little bit of time to pull out of there. It's all plastic, so you got to be careful not just rip on stuff. But the first thing that you have to remove is the top plate, as I mentioned earlier. The top plate has some electrical connections that go down to the rest of the parts, and it's got some fuel hookups. So you've got to kind of rotate it up and get to 2 lines, fuel lines, and you pop those out of the way. And then you can rotate in another direction and pull a couple electrical connectors off of it. And then you just have to be really careful fishing that thing out of the tank. In the top plate, part of that is the fuel filter. So if you were just doing a fuel filter, this job is a little bit easier than what we did, but we show you how to do both. And then you just rotate that bad boy out of there.
You made an interesting comment at the end of the project or near the end when you said, does it seem weird to anybody else that there's an electrical connection in the gas? I'm no engineer. I don't know much about electricity. I mean, I know enough to not be dangerous, but it was a good comment because we were all looking at each other like, yeah. I mean, it's just a straight up plug that connects, and it's definitely buried in gas.
I guess as long as it's a good connection and doesn't spark, you're fine.
As long as it's a good connection. Did you put it back right?
Yeah,
I'll let you know on my way home.
And then I started thinking, well, if it's full of fuel, then
it's not always though.
I know. Well, I'll get to that.
Okay,
if it's full of fuel and the plugs are in the fuel, the lower limit, what it'd take to light that stuff off would be pretty high because of all the fluid. But once you get low in the tank and have more gas, you'd think it'd be easier.
Once you have more fumes,
right? The spark point would be lower, I would think. But it just I hadn't thought of it because he brought it up like a good man with like 2 drops of gas in it. He had just enough to get here. That way we weren't really just having our
burying your hands in gasoline.
And that's one thing I would suggest, that if you're going to do this, run your bike down to the fuel light kicks on, or at least a quarter tank or less.
Yep.
Just get that stuff out of your way. It just kind of surprises me that you got electrical plug.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but it was a great comment. I kind of was like, yeah, things that make you go, I don't know.
And we plugged it in and it fired up.
So. Apparently it's safe.
Yeah, it did fire up. Boom. So once you get the top plate out, then if all you're doing is doing the filter, then you just, we show you in the video, but you remove a clamp and pull a plastic piece cup out of the way. There's your filter, easy peasy. Put a new rubber or O-ring in and a filter and slap it back together. But in Fuente's case, we were replacing the pump. So the next part is then getting the fuel gauge. I don't know what you call that. I'm having a brain fart.
The float.
The float. Thank you. The fuel float out of there. That's pretty simple. You disconnect it from the fuel pump. It slides into some tabs. The plastic tabs slide into metal grooves in the tank. Click that out. You kind of have to, this stuff is, inside of a tank, and you're pulling it out of about was it about a 4-inch hole on top, something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to pull up and turn and manipulate things, and just take your sweet time and slowly pull it out. But the float comes out fairly easy. Mm-hmm. Then after that,
do the slow pull out.
Oh yeah, don't pull out too quick.
Make sure you get the angle right.
You don't want to create a vacuum.
Do you do the swirl at the end?
You can if you want
Remember
to.
That Seinfeld episode?
Yeah,
the swirl.
Yeah. I can't remember his name. The mechanic. He had a technique. What do you call it? The swirl, something like that. It's some kind of technique right at the end that Elaine really enjoyed. Getting us back.
It's a great show.
It is a great show. I just started watching it again.
Did you?
Nice. Netflix. Yeah. When there's one of those times where you just want to watch something quick, and it's good. I started back at episode 1. I'm working my way.
Nice. I need to do that.
Yeah, it's just a good, quick, easy one. If you want some rest and relaxation and something easy, something mindless but funny. And then the next part is pulling the fuel pump out. With that, you've got to, and guys, jump in if I'm wrong here. You have to remove the fuel line, the main fuel line from it.
Mm-hmm. And there's a couple lines.
Was there a couple? I thought.
Well, it goes in and out.
Yeah, there's two on the top plate. There's two lines that you take off at first. There's one smaller one, and then there's a larger one, and then there's a third line that you take off from the fuel pump.
Yep.
Nice.
So there's a total of 3 that you take off, not including some other plugs that you take off as well. But we show you in the video.
So to remove that fuel pump, you reach in there, you disconnect that fuel line, and then it's also the fuel pump is
talk about those lines real quick because you had some difficulty. Those are a bitch.
Oh, the connectors.
Yeah,
it's an interesting connection. The lines have female connectors, and then the pump and the top plate have male connectors. You have to press in on I don't know what the hell you want to call it. It's part of the connector, but you just press on 2 tabs, and then you slide it off, and it comes about halfway off pretty easy, and then you kind of have to work on it. And also, we're filming, so I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way of the shot as much as possible, but it does take a little bit of effort to get them off right at the very end there.
That was one instance where Lurch had to walk away today.
Yeah,
just FYI.
I've learned sometimes, even though we're filming, Ryan's there filming, if I'm getting stressed out and starting to get a little pissed, I just got to stop.
Yep.
Walk away for a little bit, take a break. It also could be because I was huffing.
I was going to say that. I think it would have been the gas fumes.
Maybe.
But I've just learned in my older age.
I still feel pretty good.
Take a little stress relief break.
Yep. Or crack a beer like you did later.
I did do that later. Well, you told me to.
Well, I did. Okay. I did. I knew you were getting stressed.
When the boss tells you to go crack a beer, you crack a beer. I'm not stupid. But the fuel pump is housed in a plastic, for lack of more intelligent words, container. And it slides onto some metal tracks just like the float does. So you lift up and slide that thing out. And then there's a lot more involved with the fuel pump. It's a bigger piece of equipment. So you kind of lift it up out of the tank and you turn and rotate, and you'll see in our video, we show you how to just slide it right on out of there. But then you get that bad boy out, and then the real fun begins.
Yeah, that is a fact. This is where Lurch about lost his shit.
I did. That's what I said too.
This is awesome because Fuente was here all day with us filming. Now, me and Lurch film together a lot. Nobody else is here. And I have all my quirks, trust me. So I have lots of quirks. But me and Matt Lurch, we just get each other because we film together so much. But it was awesome. I kept looking at Fuente and we would smile and laugh because he didn't know all Lurch's some of his little quirks. Lurch is a very much, which I appreciate. I'm a neat freak in my own ways, but Lurch is very much. Lurch is the guy you want working on your bike.
Yeah.
Because where you and I were like, fucking vent line just dangles there. It does not need to be re-zip tied. Lurch is like, it needs to be zip tied, and it needs to be with a half black and half brown zip tie.
We don't use
proper
white
color.
zip ties, man.
Yo, we do.
Black
and we're
zip
using
ties
them until we
only.
get rid of them.
Oh, they're hideous.
So
Fucking ugly.
Lurch had to put a black zip tie, even though it's under the seat, so that
Yes,
it would
but
be black.
when-
It's under the seat.
Listen, when Fuente lifts his
Fuente,
seat up, I don't want him looking at
back
some
me up
ugly
here.
ass
Okay.
white zip
Back
tie.
me up.
I don't care. I don't care what kind of zip tie.
Thank you.
Don't have Lurch look at my ABS sensor wire.
Don't soldered one.
Yeah, it would improve.
It's completely up to code, bro.
Oh, it's worked just fine for 20,000 miles.
That's all you need, dude. That's all you need. It's a little shade tree stuff. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Sorry, Lurch. I had to dog on you a little bit.
Oh, that's
funny.
okay.
Trust me, I have my quirks too. And but it was funny to see Fuente. It had been a while since he had been up here to the studio, and just to see the back and forth that goes on and the filming of the project. So yeah, good times, huh?
Oh, I tapped him out for one of
Yes.
the tubes.
You did.
I had to step away. So there is definitely a lot more involved when you go through the process of replacing the fuel pump and all the sorted pieces. Like I said, it's held in there with a plastic carrier, for lack of better words. But you need to remove the fuel pump out of that carrier, which that part's pretty simple. But then you have to start removing fuel lines. And inside the tank, they use plastic. Rubber would just break down and deteriorate too fast. So you use plastic, which
Especially with all the
lasts
corn
longer.
gas.
Yeah, especially
Turns
using
rubber lines
that
into
kind of
gel.
shit.
Yeah.
But plastic still hardens as well, so it hardens, and it is a bitch to get those fuel lines off of the pump and the pump housing and all that. So one trick is you can slice them with a razor blade, but you have to be careful. You just want to slice the hose, not the actual nipple. So
You
be
don't want
careful
cut
there.
nipples?
Don't cut a nipple.
Or pierce it.
Oh yeah.
There's two larger. I don't mind pierced, whatever. There are two larger lines on there, and then there's a smaller one. The two larger weren't terribly difficult. They were, because we show you how to do it. We show you a little trick. We tried putting a little bit of 3-in-1 oil on there to slide it on, but the plastic just would not give enough. The plastic line would not give enough, and then we ran it under hot water. That wasn't hot enough.
Did you say the nipples are barbed?
I did not say that.
They are
Thank you
barbed.
for saying that.
They've
Yeah,
got-
so the nipples that you have to slide this plastic hose over. Now, if it was rubber would slide over pretty easy, but plastic, not so much. Doesn't have a whole lot of flex. So we tried running it under hot water, and the hot water just wasn't warm enough to loosen up the plastic. So then we used a heat gun very carefully and warmed it up to the...
Because they would not
optimum
go
temp.
on.
They would not
There's
go
no
on.
way in hell.
No, I could not get them on.
Yeah, there's two barbs, and you can get it over the first one. But trying to get it over the second one is, it just wouldn't go.
Yeah, I almost want to say the first barb is a little bit rounded, and the second one's got that
The lock,
it's-
that's what locks it,
It's tapered on one side, the flat side. The back side's flat, so it won't pull off. And so we warmed them up to the point that it was a little bit malleable. You got to be careful; don't overheat the thing, but just warm it up enough that it'll give, and then we're able to slide it back on.
And these lines that we were replacing are like ribbed lines.
Corrugated.
If you could, corrugated. Like if you think of like the lines used on a pool, above the ground pool from the pump or things like that is interesting, except one of them.
Yes. And
Well, except stock that is ribbed, but we got in our kit a different
the
style,
kit
right?
comes with a hard plastic. So there's two larger lines in diameter and one that's smaller in diameter. And that one is, in our kit, was a black plastic line. Now, it was going onto brass barbed nipples. And this is one where Fuente had said we probably would have done a little bit differently and probably put the small line on first, because we put our larger line on the top of the fuel pump, and then we were putting the small line on the top of the fuel pump, and that larger line was kind of in the way. Couldn't get a real good handle on it. I think it would be better if you put the small ones on first. But again, we warmed them up and were able to get them on. Now, I was concerned about overheating it a little bit, and I was having difficulty getting it on the smaller line on the pump. I had to step away for a minute. That's when I went and cracked a beer, tapped Fuente in. He came in fresh, nice and relaxed.
That's it.
And he was able to get it on there.
Relaxing.
Heated that puppy up and it slid right on.
He might have spit on it too.
This was me.
Relax.
Telling
That's
Lurch,
it,
just relax.
Relaxing now.
Yeah, like Lurch was saying though, looking back on the top of the fuel pump, we'd put one of the rib tubes on. The problem was that there just was no space to work. Mm-hmm. Your hands were offset by a good 2.5 inches on this small brass barb, and you just couldn't get any direct pressure, and the tubing would kind of bend. So definitely put that one on first.
Yep.
For sure.
And we reveal that, of course, in the video. All the troubles we went through will save you a ton of, you won't have to stomp away mad and crack a beer, although I highly suggest it.
No, take it easy. Crack the beer, watch the video, and then
That's
do
right.
the work.
There you go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
our video will make it a lot easier for you, obviously. And just take a deep breath and take your time and you'll get through it.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, it's just you take the old one out, you replace the fuel lines, you replace the fuel pump. It's fairly straightforward, especially with our video. So don't be afraid to do it. This is a job that I think most
Do
people
not pay a mechanic to do this.
No,
I think if you got
no.
just some basic mechanical skills, you can do this.
And now that we've done it and there'll be a video on it, we could whip through it.
Oh, for
you know,
sure.
because,
Now, we did have a question come up because the kit came with 2 sets of clamps, and we were kind of trying to throw it back.
Hose
and forth.
clamps, right?
Yeah, hose clamps.
It's got a pinch clamp and then a typical hose clamp.
So when we took it out, we saw stock, they didn't use any clamps. And so we figured, well, we'll put it on at first and we'll see if we need them. And after struggling through the first one, we're like, yeah, this is not coming off. We don't need the clamps.
Right.
And I figure the less stuff that you have in your fuel tank, the better.
Yep.
Right? If you don't
Yep.
have to worry about a clamp coming loose or something like that, if you don't need it, I wouldn't put it in there.
Yep. Good call. Now, I will say I generally knew what was involved, but you will not believe how much shit they shove down into that tank that you don't know is there until you start pulling floats out.
Oh, it's crazy.
And pumps and filters and lines and wires. It's insane what they stuff down in those tanks, huh?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was surprising.
Yeah.
It was surprising.
When you see it all, you're like, holy cow, man. All right. Very good. But like I say, I would definitely change it before 100,000 looking at his. And if you have any type of filter or pump issues, we got your back. We're going to put it out in 2 separate videos. There'll be one of just the fuel filter and one of just the fuel pump. And then, of course, if you're going to do both, which we suggest at the same time, you can just watch both videos. Take it away.
All right. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system
I am.
for your motorcycle?
I am. Mm-hmm.
Rick Rack has just what you are looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose, and you can lose your chaps as you're riding in Canada.
Yeah.
Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep, and these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack Quick Attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use a Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. And again, that's lawabidingbiker.com/store.
Oh my God, dude.
Great.
You finished right at the right exact time the music
I
went.
timed it. It's amazing.
Screw you, man.
I just got the finger. Sorry, that's funny shit there. That is
To
funny.
speak about Rick Rack, though, I mean,
Yeah.
I did.
He's getting another whiskey. He's filling up his glass, dude.
Yeah, do it. So the first big trip I did with you guys was up to Canada.
You made the thumb art of the documentary film.
I did. And you can see my ghetto ass setup.
Totally, dude.
And it trust me, it's one thing that you don't have to worry about. You get the Rick Rack. I would never use anything else. Looking back.
So you'll never go back?
Nicely played, dude.
I won't.
Nicely played.
Takes the worry out of it when you get to your hotel. Slap it off and you're off and running.
Yep.
I mean, it takes what?
10
a minute?
seconds. Not even. We timed it. It's 10 seconds on our video.
Yeah, there
what
you
it
go.
takes to get off if you're moving. You actually sported the Rick Rack on the way up here. Do you just leave it on full time, or did you carry parts?
Nah, to and from work. I mean, I
Do you? Yeah.
I carry both. I carry the half helmet. I carry the full face.
Okay.
Yeah, I just keep it on there. I got my cruise toolkit, which you can also get at Law Abiding Biker Store.
Nice.
Got that in there. Got everything else. Tire patch kit.
Do you have the newest version of the Rick Rack bag?
No, I think I
Okay.
got one of the prototypes.
Because yours doesn't. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because now we're selling in a package, guys. It comes with the roller. It's a roller bag, and it is. Or if you buy it from our store, it's already put together. We will ship it to you installed. All you got to do is throw it on your rack, and it comes with. It's a roller bag with a handle. It's really nice. So we've got that available for you. The wheels used to attach, or you had to make modifications. Not anymore. We got you covered. It'll all be put together when it ships to you. So now we're going to transition into our summer trip, which is coming up here in June. And we're just briefly going to talk about it. I do want to say up front, and we've mentioned it in the past several times, is my deepest, sincere apologies. We won't be having a patron meetup this year, a law-abiding biker sanctioned meetup. It was just really hard to get together, dealing with some health issues earlier in the year. All is well now. I will just mention that. But because of that, it was just way too hard, and we were behind the 8 ball way too much, so to speak. And we just simply couldn't get it put together, and a venue and catering and all that. So I know there's other rides going on non-sanctioned, and I appreciate that so very much. And I know that all of you out there are beloved patron members. Forgive me for that, but it still makes me feel bad because I always like to do those sanctioned events, but life throws curveballs sometimes, and that's just the way it is. So this summer trip, we won't be meeting up with any patron members. And again, our apologies for that. But we are going to meet up with some of our sworn few brothers, some different chapters. So it's very much club centric, which is the purpose for this trip. Do you want to mention how this trip came about, Lurch?
Well, we can even go back before any of our club days. You and I and my brother Ed would get together and take a summer trip. Now, back in the day when we were on our wide glides and Softails, we would go so far as Spokane and thought we were some serious bikers.
Oh yeah, hardcore.
We had rode, most of an afternoon to get somewhere.
Lee Para bare bone seat with 16-inch ape hangers and no windshield, no fairing, but we just owned life.
Yeah, I think
I was a young man.
We would ride.
Fuente.
We rode down to Newport one time, and that we thought that was a hell of a ride, getting down to Newport and back, which now that's like the first stop, just for one day of a mini day tour for us. But anyways, we started off with just doing a little summer trip, little boys trip. And then as we got into the first club that we started here in Yakima Valley, which was the Blue Knights Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club, we started taking some trips again. Again, you, me, and Ed, and occasionally somebody else would jump in with us. But then as we got into the Sworn Few and we started that club from scratch on our own here in Yakima Valley, we decided that we wanted to do at least one trip every year that was just the boys. Most of the time, wives and family welcome, but we just want to have that one trip. We're all law enforcement officers. We all get each other. As coming on to the Sworn Few, it's a process. We don't haze, none of that stupid shit, but we have a process, and it's not easy. You got to take some steps that involve some vetting to make sure that you're our kind of guy, people that we get along with, right? Like-minded. Some of the other law enforcement clubs, and not to talk poorly of them, but as long as you've got a commission and you got a bike, you fill out a little application, send in your $25 or whatever, and you can be part of the club. That's not the way that we roll. So I've found that our brotherhood is very tight because of the things that we've put in place. And so we've got chapters in Washington, several in Washington, but now we've started branching out. We've got a chapter in Tennessee. We got one in Maryland. And this year there was a lot of requests for an all-club meetup. So we started looking at the map and trying to figure out mileage, and we found out that Duluth, of all places, Minnesota, would be a good place for us to meet. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're doing. We're getting together.
The main purpose for the trip.
Yeah, it's to get away from everything, get a break from family, from work, from all the stresses. You get on that bike after about 3 days, and you kind of lose track of time. On many of these trips, I've forgotten what day it was.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
You just have so much fun. I mean, you can sit down. It doesn't, and it's funny, when we go to lunch or dinner, everybody just kind of rotates around. And you sit with different folks, and it doesn't matter who you're sitting with. It's just easy conversation. It's good times. We understand each other, and it's a ball. I look forward to it every year.
Yep. Got 9 of us going from the Washington chapters. Out of the 3 chapters, 9 of us going this time.
I think we got 5 from Maryland and 2 from Tennessee.
Okay. Perfect. And so the unfortunate part about it is, on the last couple years trips, we made them more riding specific roads, curvy roads, twisties along the coast last year to be more specific.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Amazing. That third day, hands down, best day of riding.
I'm working on that documentary film, guys. We've just been so busy. It's still a work in progress, but it will eventually come out when I'm done with it. But this trip, because we have to just get to point A to point B, it lends itself to us riding like throttle down freeway for quite a few days here. So
3, and particularly on the way out there, we're moving. We're on the interstate most of the time.
So day 1, Butte, Montana, from home, Washington State to Butte, Montana, 8-hour saddle time. Then we'll just rip through this here. Then the next day, Butte, Montana to Bismarck, North Dakota, 9 hours, 640 miles, 9-hour saddle time, that is. It's the 11-hour day, basically. Then did I skip day 3? Day 3, Bismarck, North Dakota to Duluth, Minnesota. That's a 7-hour saddle time, 435 miles. Once we get to Duluth, that's the one Popeye rented a VRBO for us, right?
It is a cool place. It was at least 20 acres. It's about 10 minutes out of Duluth.
Not far from Lake Superior, obviously. Duluth
not far at all. Big house, lots of acreage, no real close neighbors. So the Washington chapters are going to stay there. The Baltimore, the Maryland, and the Tennessee chapters are going to get together and stay in another place. But our place will definitely be a good hangout spot. It's very wilderness like. There's a river running through it. It's badass. I think we're really going to enjoy that. And we're there for a good 3 days, I believe.
There'll be no drinking and no tomfoolery going on.
There will be
at that
both
house.
of those.
Do they have scooters?
Oh,
dude,
you haven't seen the beginning of the documentary.
I'll have to pull this place up for you. There ain't no scooters.
I can't let you see it yet.
No, I can't
it's
wait.
Great. It's great. Oh yeah, you guys wait for the documentary film. I don't want to give all of it away, but Fuente may or may not have gone down. Well, I think we posted pictures in the private Facebook.
Yeah, I think
group.
we've already talked about
He went down like a sack of shit on a scooter.
We've talked about it several times, I think.
Okay,
actually.
all right.
Oh yeah, you got to send it. Just embrace it.
Oh yeah, you embraced it, all right. So you guys will appreciate it in that documentary film. But yeah, we're gonna have to throttle down, and it's gonna be interstate, and it's just gonna be shite. But hey, that's all right. You know why? Because we're on motorcycles and we're riding with brothers, and it's fun either way.
Anytime your knees are in the breeze,
yeah, buddy,
it's a good day.
Yeah, buddy.
And like I was saying earlier, with this group of guys, it doesn't matter where we go or what we do. We're gonna have fun.
Yep, exactly. Trust me, we made all kinds of fun at the West Coast trip that we didn't know we were going to have. Memories of a lifetime. So I do have a food challenge set up. Oscar doesn't know it yet, but he should expect it because Oscar is a competitive eater. Not really, but he is. And
he does his best.
He does his best, and I'll buy his meal. Now this is Big Daddy's Burgers is what I found.
Perfect. Now
this one, gosh, I apologize for this. I know it was a patron member that hit me up, and I can't remember, but I found Big Daddy's Burgers for a food challenge for Oscar, but it's pretty close. It's only 13 miles from the VRBO. This was the patron members one. He said you got to do Gonk's Grill, but it's 20 miles from our VRBO. So I've got both of them on our itinerary, but we'll see. We might just go to the closer one. But I apologize again. The name skips me of who sent that.
And I apologize. Looking at the Google Maps of that place, it's not a river. There's like a lake.
Nice.
Right behind the house.
Nice. Yeah, it looks like a beautiful place, the bit I looked at it there. So VRBO stay, we are going to stay day 4 and 5 at the VRBO. We're going to get, obviously food and hopefully do some cooking there, some queuing or whatever.
That's the plan. Everybody with luggage or, the hard trunks will run to the store and load up and bring it back.
Yep. Now, one of the days, I have a day ride, and if this is all on Harley-Davidson Ride Planner, of course. Don't forget about my very specific and detailed tutorials on how to use the boombox and ride planner, because I set up this whole trip and our day rides on that, lawabidingbiker.com/Harley boombox, all one word. You'll get all 3 of our boombox video series and ride planner video over at that URL. Now, I do have a day ride that I set up along beautiful Lake Superior. Of course, that's a huge lake, and you're not going to ride the whole thing. I didn't want to just throttle down again, but I do have a nice day ride that I know what he told me. I just started dragging roads around, and I think it's going to be a fun ride. Duluth, Minnesota to Bayfield, Wisconsin. The day ride's about 4.5 hours saddle time, 190 miles round trip. So should be a nice little day ride for us. Lunch will be at a brewery I found up there. And so we like adventuring out and trying new breweries. So hopefully that's good, guys. Hopefully that's good. We decided to do this now. Originally, we were going to skydive.
No, we weren't.
Well, yeah.
Yes, we were.
Mm-hmm.
You fools might.
Mr. Vahina over there was not going to.
There's no reason to jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
How many mount me?
Yep, whatever.
All right.
Squid was on board.
Yeah, hell yeah. Who wouldn't be?
After that gondola ride, he's going to go.
He'll get in a car every day where thousands of people a day are killed and maimed, injured in one way or another. But God forbid, hardly ever a skydiving accident. I have to tell my kids, my oldest daughter, about planes, because she has, anxiety about planes. I'm like, do you know how safe planes are? Do you realize the record compared to, but you'll gladly get in your car on a Friday night and drive with hundreds of drunk drivers all over the road. That makes no sense to me. All right. Anyways, I'll get off my daddy tangent. When we decided, the reason is we're probably going to skydive next year. We'll throw it into our itinerary, but we figured this is a club trip and it's a small operation there, and we would have to split up. So we decided instead to rent boats. So we rented 2 pontoon boats that will fit the Baltimore and the Tennessee guys, and then our Washington guys. And we're going to go out on Lake Superior for the day and have a ball. Again, no drinking or tomfoolery will be going on. Do you believe that, Fuente?
Yeah. I'm not sure what the answer is. Yes.
You believe that no drinking will go on?
No.
Yeah, we'll have fun.
Oh,
we're going to swim.
It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be awesome. So that'll be a fun day. Now, day 6, we are headed from Duluth, Minnesota. We're out. We got to head back. And we decided on the way back not to completely bomb. And so we're going to take Highway 2, right, Lurch?
Yeah, the Great Northern Route.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I knew there was a name for it. The Great Northern Route. And it kind of goes back up north, thus the Northern Route makes sense. And will guide us back west to the western states, but north again on that Great Northern Route. And that should be a bit more, probably not as beautiful as our coast ride last year or some of the twisties we've been on, but nonetheless, it'll be better than just throttling down. And we're going to make our way. That's an 8-hour day pulling out of there, 473 miles. And then Minot. It's Minot, isn't it?
Minot.
Is it Minot?
Yeah, I think it's Minot.
My bad. Minot. Minot, North Dakota to Havre, I believe is how you say it. Havre, Montana. Thank you. 7 hours, 428 miles. And of course, we've got hotels and dinners planned for these. Looks like a pub, 1 minute walk away. Now, day 8 is Havre, Montana to Whitefish, Montana. And we have been to Whitefish before, and we had a blast.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Close to the Canadian border. I think we popped back in to Washington, or back into Montana from Canada for the Whitefish night.
Canada into Whitefish.
6 years ago or something, 7 years ago. So here's the deal. This is interesting that I found out, which I have it in bold red on this itinerary. Because the parks are so packed, we want to ride Glacier. We've ridden Glacier before, but we want to ride it again. This is something to be aware of. This is a pro tip for you guys. Do your research before you go on these trips, because what I found out is these parks are so busy that they're taking reservations only. And
which I think started in COVID, to be honest.
I think so. And so we've got to get online. I called the place. I'm like, how do we get into this park? We want to ride it. And she told me, you got to get online the day before, starting at 800 hours. They open it up to try and reserve tickets for vehicles for Glacier National Park going to the Sun. We're going to go into the Sun Road the next day. So that morning, we're going to get on and hopefully we can get all of us tickets to get in Glacier because we certainly want to ride that. Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Last time we just showed up and got in line and did it. Not so
and it
much
opened
anymore.
that day.
Yeah, we got lucky.
Last time because of the snow. They hadn't opened it up yet. So number one, hopefully it'll be open. Number two, we got it in bold red there. So we're going to try to call. And the way I understand it is they give out so many passes and then they close it. And I got on there right away and couldn't get it. They give so many passes and then they keep it open to people like us who can call the day before. They keep a certain amount of passes open so that you can nab onto those. So we'll do that. And so I really, really hope that we get to ride Glacier, and we've got a great lunch and dinner set up for that day. And then day 9, we know this is the VRBO you rented, right, Lurch?
Yeah, this one's going to be in Whitefish there.
Uh-huh.
And we wanted something downtown.
It's a trailer, single wide.
No, it's a house. It's a house to the just west
It's
of
a big spender.
west of town a little bit. No, there's nothing cheap in Whitefish.
Yeah, no, I know.
Whitefish, Montana in general has really exploded since
Bullshit.
Yellowstone came on TV.
God.
And all these people from California and other places are leaving and trying to get out of that hellhole and go to beautiful places like Montana. And so it's Montana in the summer is crazy just because so many people go there to visit because they want to go see Yellowstone or they want to go to the Yellowstone itself, the park. So crazy busy. And Whitefish, the hotels are insanely priced down there. And so we started looking at VRBOs and we were finding condos downtown right near a lot of the restaurants that we could walk to. The problem is no parking. I mean, it was street parking or, we're going to have 8, 9 bikes that we're trying, maybe even 10 bikes we're trying to take care of. So we started looking at houses and we found a house a few blocks. It's a short walk from downtown and it's street parking, but it's in a neighborhood and there's plenty of parking out front. So we'll be able to do that. Another VRBO, going to be nice. Mm-hmm. Seems like VRBOs or Airbnbs or whatever house rental site you choose seems to be the way to go if you've got a decent sized group. So
especially when you're staying a couple days.
Yeah, it's going to be
like we are in Whitefish.
Mm-hmm. And also then you can, go grab your own beers, your own food.
Yeah.
It's a little cheaper in the long run, generally speaking, because you're going to cram several people into one place. Plus, you can buy some of your food. You don't have to, eat out for every meal. Mm-hmm. Should be a nice place, though.
Yeah, it'll be nice to kick back. And so day 9 will be our Glacier ride out of Whitefish, should everything work out. And then
crossed.
The sad part. Because it will zip by, and before you know it, it will be day 10.
Day 10, yep.
And we got to throttle down 7.5 hours, 459 miles from Whitefish, Montana, back to Washington State. Here, some of the guys, of course, Fuente from the Tri-Cities area, us up here from the Yakima, Washington area. And so Lurch and I going, Fuente and Popeye, Sarge and Mouse, Squid, Indian John, and then Oscar is going to be going on this trip. Anything else you guys want to talk about the trip? Just looking forward to it, winding down.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
It's going to be here before we know it.
It will.
Because at the time of this recording, it's like May 24th, and then we'll pop this out before our trip, and we're going at the end of June. So I am looking forward to it so much. And regardless, we got to throttle down. It's going to be fun. Fuente, what's new and anything you want to talk about here at the end of the podcast? You've got about 3 whiskeys in you now.
Oh, yeah.
You've been sitting there all silent over there.
He's
we
trying to
appreciate
give
you coming up, bro.
He's trying to give you an extra whiskey. He only had 2. Don't try to up him whiskey up him.
Gotcha.
No, just get out and ride. I mean, that's the main thing. I try to tell guys at work, same thing. They ask, I always try to share the trip documentaries. I always try to tell guys, there's something to be said about, just exploring the country. You alluded to it before. There's so many things when you're out riding the country that, you wouldn't normally stop at some of these places we stop at. Whether that's a, cool convenience store like on Route 66 and I think it's New Mexico. or a brewery. I mean, you just see so many cool places and things that you wouldn't normally see traveling the country. There's something to be said about traveling on a bike.
There is.
Way different than a car or anything else.
And the people you meet. Other bikers and stuff.
The funny stories. I mean, you name it.
That was Tumankari we stopped in, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Tumankari? Is that how you say it? I think I remember right.
I don't know how to pronounce it. But.
Yeah. Because I asked her on the film, the lady at the store, Tumankari, I believe is how you said it. But yeah, you're right. Yep, just getting out and riding, having a good time. And again, apologies for the no lab sanctioned patron meetup. Lurch, you got any final thoughts? Anything wise to say?
Change your fuel filter a little sooner than Harley-Davidson recommends, and don't be afraid to do it by yourself because we've got a video for you.
Fuente?
I'd concur.
We'll come back with final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Keep track of your bike. Listen to it.
Before you do that, he wants you to do this
I want you to read it.
Oh, the butt buffer. Ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already.
Oh, treat that ass.
Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion.
Oh, that
this
ass.
Company of bikers developed a super thin hospital grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials.
Oh.
And it's unlike gel pads that will leak if punctured.
So soft.
The butt buffer is designed not to slide around on your seat. Fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans, and helps to dampen vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head over to Law Abiding Biker Store. Check out our lineup of butt buffer seat cushions.
Treat that ass.
I don't know why you'd need to clean it.
Clean what?
Because you got your butt and your nuts on it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You got butt sweat on it.
That's seasoning.
If you're using dude white mint, you don't need to clean it.
Yeah,
because it'll just smell like mint.
You got to break it in. Season your seat.
Oh, too much fun. It was a good day, guys. And Fuente, I want to thank you for coming up.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me.
Letting us film it because I know you're fully capable mechanically of doing a project like this.
No, I mean, like I said, I looked on YouTube and there just wasn't any good videos. You look at it, you could probably, like we did, we looked at a number of videos just to see how other people did it. I think we pieced together, 3 videos of things. And there were just a lot of things that, were not clear.
Well, we appreciate your recognizing that and knowing that if we did it up here and filmed it, we could make a better video. So thank you for taking the time to come up and letting us do it.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Now, this is the deal. We absolutely love our patron members. They're the backbone.
They are.
And we want to get to know you better. We want to get you in the private Facebook group. But hey, if the only way you can support us, the way you want to support us is through a flat donation, we never balk at a flat donation. And we want to thank the following people.
Carl Stout, Terrence Lovejoy, that's a great name, of Charlotte, North Carolina, and Howard Stinson of Salida, California, with a substantial donation. Thank you, Howard.
Thank you. Helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank so we can keep this thing
running on down the road.
Woo! Thanks for being here, guys. That was a great episode. Had a great day wrenching on bikes and filming.
Almost lost my shit, but did not lose it.
That's right.
Kept it.
You did. You kept it after you had your beer. Luckily, you'd been huffing gas, so you're a little calmer than usual.
That's probably why I was a little on edge.
Aromatherapy.
This is a commercial specifically for Fuente.
Yes.
Fuente.
The screen is kind of blurred.
Don't ride without the slide. Clean yo dirty ass bike. That's right. Absolutely the best waterless motorcycle cleaner on the market. Bug Slide, tried and tested right here by the Law Abiding Biker crew. It is absolutely our #1 go-to waterless motorcycle cleaner. Bug Slide cleans, shines, and degreases while removing bugs and other surface contaminants with ease. Use it on your motorcycle, car, boat. Hey, use it on your truck like Fuente and more. Never need to wax again. The release agent in Bug Slide contains a UV filter for added protection. It's free of abrasives, safe on all non-porous surfaces. Use it on your helmet, your face shield, your painted surfaces, your chrome, everything in between. Yes, even safe on that gall darn Harley denim paint. We believe in it so much, we carry it in stock right in the Law Abiding Biker store. That's right. LawAbidingBiker.com/store. Use it. Don't be like Fuente. That's the lesson of the day.
Hey, I still carry it in the bike.
You carry it just for show.
For other people.
No, that's for, for face shields, glasses.
Here's the funny thing. He told me this morning when we were getting started, Lurch, he said, "Oh, I actually cleaned the bike up for you guys." I'm like, "You did?" Well, it looks like shit.
I don't like being late, so it was like a little 2-minute courtesy.
Yeah. Hey, it was good because we got a bug slide commercial right baked right into the video.
You know it.
Like
You
we
were
do.
thinking ahead.
I try.
What whiskey were you guys drinking there?
Lefroy 10.
Oh, that's the one you brought like a year or two ago.
And then
I saved it for
Isla
you.
single malt scotch.
Smoky, but I like it.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Then I knocked off the bottle of Woodford Reserve Double Oak that Brad Johnston, patron
Oh,
member.
when he
Jad
came up to the
Bronston.
studio.
Yep, Brad brought
You just
up
said Drab Bronston.
Well,
I think it's the gas getting to him.
Brad Johnston brought up. There was a little splash of that left, so I had a taste of that. And then I had a taste of the Glenlivet, 12-year-old.
Getting into the Glenlivet, bro. It must have been a special day.
It was. Yeah.
It was.
Very, very special.
Are you less frustrated now?
Very less.
The tubes were not ribbed for pleasure.
That's right. Good point.
Not at all.
Good point. Very good point. Thanks for being here, guys. We appreciate it so much. If you can't shop in the store, or you don't want to donate, or patron member or anything like that, at least do us a favor and head over, especially to iTunes or your favorite podcast app, because we're on all the platforms. Give us a 5-star review so more bikers around the world can find us and join this thing we call
The hashtag Biker
Biker
Revolution. And if you haven't bookmarked our Amazon link, what are you doing? Everybody shops on Amazon. Go to our page, click on through, make that thing a bookmark, call it Lab Amazon, and give us a little taste on every order that you make. No cost to you, but we get a little bit back.
Nice.
Perfectly timed with the music.
Nice. We're out.